For those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my favorite patrons, always, double salute. Now, today's video, we're actually going to be talking about how to get a Penfed personal loan. Now, there's some very big advantages to getting a Penfed loan, which I'm going to break down. Also, in terms of looking at the scoring and stuff like that, if you don't qualify for Penfed loan, what are the alternatives to being able to get loans if you need a loan? So I'm going to be showing you those. One of the things about it that I like about Penfed is that it's much easier to join than Navy Fed. That being said, the advantage that Navy Fed has over Penfed is that they offer business accounts. And so my thing is, I'm always trying to encourage you guys is to find financial institutions that offer personal checking accounts as well as business checking accounts. But that being said, let's look at some of the things about Penfed. Here's the thing about it. Where Navy Federal has internal scoring, I tell people that most credit unions, they have some type of internal scoring. They may not expose it like Navy Federal does, but they do have some type of internal scoring. That's the reason it's important that if you open up a personal checking account, and then it's easier to join Navy Federal because you just $5 with a savings account, right? But also say that you they don't offer secured cards, but say that you was able to do like maybe a CD with them or something like that, or having direct deposit. Again, the more accounts you have with a financial institutions, the better it is for you to get funding. That's not always the case, but I'm just telling you, if you're trying to secure more funding, it's better to do that. Because I have seen people go into like Penfed with a 620 credit score and come up, right? So they're able to get like a $10,000, $15,000 credit card, you know, and then a $25,000 loan. So it's not impossible just off the credit score itself, but that also depends on your debt to income ratio as well. Now, the good thing about Penfed, they are more forgiving in terms of with a lot of the traditional banks and stuff. So it's much easier for you to get funding. However, for those of you that don't qualify for funding through Penfed, I do have some other lenders to show you as well. But again, if you want to join Penfed, all you have to do is open up a savings account with $5. Now, their loans go from $600 to $50,000, and it's stated income, and it's a soft pull. It's a stated income soft pull. Now, that being said, what that means is basically, I always tell people is make sure that you include the household income, whatever income that helps support the household. So if you're married and your spouse has an income, you need to include the income. Or if you're disabled but you're renting out a room or something like that, you need to include that income. If you are retired and you're receiving money from your annuity 401k, you need to include that income. A lot of these financial institutions is more driven on income base, okay? And so the more income you're able to show in a lower DTI, debt to income ratio, the more they're willing to work with you. Like I said, even with a 620 credit score, people have been able to approach Penfed and get credit cards as well as loans. All right. Now, some of the things, they may be inquiry sensitive, meaning that you may have too many inquiries all at one time. You may have over 8 inquiries within a year. So that may be something. Now, if that may be the problem with you, you probably want to get them on the phone and talk to them to explain your situation. And sometimes their underwriting process will look over that inquiry to still help you get qualified. So that's one of the reasons I always tell people is if they don't have a physical branch location, then you should get them on the phone and talk to somebody while going through the application, or if your application is denied, trying to talk with the underwriters to see if they can help you get approved, okay? So those are your highest chances of being approved. Now, understanding that with Penfed, they do a FICO 9 on the Equifax, okay? And so the average credit score for a loan is about a 650, okay? But again, people have gotten Penfed loans with a 620, but they have, adding to that, they have checking accounts, savings accounts, you know, direct deposits. So they're constantly putting money into an account. So if you open up a savings account and a checking account with Penfed, one of the bigger opportunities you have is at least putting like $25, $50 a week into that account, okay? Because the more activity they see going on with those accounts, the more they see that you actually want to bank with them and you're not just trying to get funding. All right. Now, here's the good thing about it. That inquiry, they do a soft pull, but when you get actually accept a loan, they do a hard pull. But here's the thing about it. That inquiry lasts for 30 days. So that means that one inquiry, you can apply for multiple products. So not just a personal loan with a Penfed, but you can apply for their credit cards, car loans, lines of credit, all off of one inquiry. So that's the good thing about it. They don't charge any no origination fees or no prepayment fees. So if you want to pay the loan off. Now their average DTI, the max is 55%. Now for some people you may be over that 55% debt to income ratio. So there's other lenders that I'm going to show you that you can actually get a personal loan from as well. Now, you have a MONEYMUTUAL. Again, it's a lender that's not actually tripping off of the credit score, but you have to have a minimum of at least $800 a month, but you can borrow up to $5,000. So if you're in check system, their platform will still help you get approved for a personal loan. All right, so again, if Penfed, you can't get a personal loan through Penfed, MONEYMUTUAL is one. Then you have AVANT personal loans. Again, there's a soft pull, 580 credit score minimum, 580 credit score minimum. Their debt to income ratio is 70%. So where Penfed was 55%, they're actually 70%. So they're actually giving you 15% spread in terms of debt to income ratio. Now their loans go from $2,000 up to $3,500, but you do have to have an active checking account, active phone, and email. Now the average credit score with them is a 644. That's the average, but that does not mean you have to have a 644 because they do consider other things that may allow you to get approved. Now, the annual income is usually about $20,000 annually. So just say about $1,200. If you're able to make $1,200 a month, they will possibly get you approved. Now their average monthly income is about $4,000. But again, 4,000 times 12 is $48,000. So that's you and someone else's income in the household. So again, focusing on household income. Then you have credit loans. Again, another one of those lenders, they're not tripping off of your credit. They're looking at your debt to income ratio, okay? Stated income again. So whatever you're documenting for is household income and stuff, that's what they're looking at. Now their loans go from $250 up to $40,000. You do have to have an active checking account as well. Now, the good thing about it, they do have a 90% approval chance, okay? The unfortunate thing is that they don't operate in New York and Connecticut, but that's okay because you have the other lenders that will work with you if you're in New York or Connecticut, like through the major credit unions and things of that nature. Now, in reference to if you have bad credits, their maximum loan amounts is $5,000. Now, you have Upstart personal loans. Now, with Upstart personal loans, they're, again, not tripping off of the credit score. Soft pull, TransUnion, FICO 9. And this is the thing about it, people, where your traditional banks and stuff, they're still pulling FICO 8, right? And now some of them are considering switching over to the FICO 10. But for those fintech companies and some of these credit unions, I would stick with the FICO 9 lenders, and I would get funding through them from off of my FICO 9. And then once I know that my credit score is stronger, then I would switch over to the FICO 8. Okay, and for those of you who don't know how to get your FICO credit scores from your FICO 8, 9, 5, 2, and 3, then click the link in the description so you can get that. If you have questions about removing personal items off of your credit or trying to get more personal credit funding, business credit funding, you can click the link in the description and schedule a one-on-one consultation as well. Okay, now again, their DTI with Upstart, you're probably looking at maybe about a 70-75%, all right, which is very good. So you having a higher DTI, but at the same time, they're still better than, like, if you're not qualified for the banks, or like the credit unions, like Penfed credit unions only go up to 55%. So some people are like, well, Penfed wouldn't give me a loan and I don't know why. Well, what was your DTI? You know, that's a big factor. So even though Penfed would give you a loan, you have to understand, okay, there's more than just about the credit score. What is your debt to income ratio? Had you had any, do you have too many inquiries on the credit file? Did you even pick up the phone and call their reconciliation department to explain your situation? So those are things that you actually can do, because one thing about Penfed, the thing I like about them is that their customer service is usually on point in terms of working with you and understanding your situation, okay? So, like I said, if you tried to get a Penfed loan and wasn't approved, I would probably get them on the phone and talk to them to see what it is that you can do to possibly get approved for some type of funding from them, right? Now, back to the Upstart situation. Upstart, the minimum annual income is $12,000, but you do have to have valid email, valid phone number, and valid active bank account. Okay, now again, because they really don't focus on the credit score, they're more or less looking at how long you've been on your job, how long you've been at your resident. Okay. If you have job offers, if you're in college, what's your college education level? So they're putting in all this other alternative data instead of just the credit score, because they're starting to realize, a lot of companies starting to realize, wait a minute, you're more than just your credit score. You could have made some mistakes, or you just didn't have the opportunity to start building. Now, one of the things about it, with them, they operate in all 50 states, but you can start with no credit. That's one of the cool parts about it. So if you're just starting out and you're trying to get some funding, but you have a stable job, or you say that you're DoorDash, Uber, and stuff like that, you still have an opportunity to get a loan from them, and their loans go from $1,000 up to $50,000. Then you have Universal Credit. Now with Universal Credit, their minimum credit score is a 560. Their average is a 638. Now, these are just data points, people. That doesn't mean you have to have a 638 credit score. However, I'm just telling you, the more you know and understand about these data points, the better the leverage is for you to get approved, okay? Now, the minimum income states none, but the average is about $60,000. But that does not mean you have to be making at least $60,000, okay? So don't go into a panic mode thinking, oh God, I'm not going to get qualified or whatever. As a matter of fact, Universal Credit, they're very flexible with working with people as well. Now, again, their loans go from $1,000 up to $50,000. Now, you have to have at least 2 accounts on your credit file. And the good thing about it, again, it's a FICO 9 scoring system. That's the good part about it. It's a FICO 9 scoring system. And it's very easy to build up your FICO 9. Again, building up the FICO 9, you're adding the rent. If you're paying the rent, you're also adding like your subscriptions or utilities. Those type of things on your credit file can help you get more funding. All right. Now, their DTI, look at this, 75%. So that's the reason, I mean, with Penfed is 55. This here gives you a 20-point scale higher that allows you to be able to get qualified. So yeah, Penfed goes up to 50,000, but again, this company here, they're not as stringent as with Penfed, okay? So you may be able to get approved through them. So if you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, I did recently make a video for those of you that have LLCs and trying to understand how to get funding for it. I'll put a link in the description so you can actually check out that video as well. If you have any other questions, again, click the link in the description and schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.